Okay, here we go again. Buckle up, rough roads ahead. So now I'm a seer, and I know what's going on. Okay, and I'm trying to tell you which direction to go because what you see as the outcome is not the outcome. So why? What does Trump? What does Trump want with tariff? Why does he like the tariff? Well, the fund last time it was he was able to spend it on a emergency project that he wants to spend it on. So what happens is he then controls that money. He doesn't control the budget, which what it's saying now is that it happened last time that he controlled it. He's going to lose control of it because the Senate and the House are going to say that tariff money is not the president's to spend. It's part of the income of the nation, and then it's going to go to budgeting. It has to be put into the kitty for the federal budget. So that because again, who's in charge of spending? Senate and House. So Trump knows that he's lacking funding, so he figures he'll get his funding from the tariffs. But that's going to change. So I'm telling you that. Because I don't even think it's probably not even lawful for him to use it like he is. Right. So they're going to sue the president for those funds and say no, you can't use them. Right. And the court will probably concur. So again, well, somebody got back to me and said, well, what we want to do is get that money and use it on, our projects, but it's not going to work. And again, tariffs caused such upheaval in the economy. You saw what happened. Everything he got, he had to spend on the farmers. Now he used that for political gain by saying, "Look, I took care of the farmers." Right. So I'm telling you, as a seer, the tariffs aren't going to go the way it went last time, but it's going to go the way it went. You're going to end up spending it on other stuff anyway. But if you were able to get some of it to spend on your pet projects, the Senate and the House will claim that they're in charge of the spending of that money, right? And then you approve it. Right. Thanks, Larry. Well, because something got back to me and started explaining that the money was going to be used for if we needed it for the deportations or whatever, right? If they won't budget us, right? But they're gonna claim that it's their money to put into the budget, and you're not allowed to mess with again income tax, right? So he got away with it the first time, kinda. I mean, I don't think anybody would come against that, right? Right. Right. So something's steering you all in the wrong direction. No, but that's what he's doing. I'll drop your income tax. Just let me have this money. Right. Wrigley, Larry. So it's just not going to go that way anymore. Boy, my freezer shut down. I don't know what happened. I know it wasn't on. Listen for it to go, and it wouldn't go, and then finally it's back on now. Thanks, Larry. They may have been in my apartment today, and I did see 2 Overland Park vehicles today, so somebody might be setting Overland Park PD up. Somebody looked like they changed the combination on my lock. I can't be sure because I didn't look at it. Right. But it's like a diss or something. Right. So again, whoever told you to be here if you weren't supposed to be here, just naturally on a call. Oh wait, they're hacking me. Looks like they're hacking me. Let me see, is it working? Yeah. So the president of Mexico said sovereignty is not for sale. I don't know. Like I told you, there was a foreign legion that worked with Mexico for their independence. So again, this idea where that never happened in their history is bullshit. And again, they need independence from those cartels. Correct. It can be, a bilateral agreements. The deployment of any troops could be, but again, at a certain point, they might just launch, drones. Again, this is part of the process, which means this: you deny that, and it keeps coming across. Right, then they'll send drones to destroy their labs and everything. Right, maybe take out a couple bosses. Right. So over in Clark PD, you need to be careful. Somebody might be telling you to do certain things that are, and again, that call could have been it. The call could have been fake, right? If you went in for a 911 call, right, where they're setting you up to look like you're deep state. Right. Thank you, Larry. Thanks, Larry. Now check this: the fire engines. Make sure it's a legitimate call. But this dude's hauling ass down 135 with an ambulance, and if it's a fake deep state operation, they are a hazard and a risk to the United States and its citizens. Right. So find out what the call is for the ambulance and the fire engines just past 135th and Neiman. Right. Make sure it's legitimate. Also investigate the other side of it, like who made the call. Thanks, sir. They were moving at a high rate of speed down 135, 135th. Thank you, Larry. It was a ambulance behind a fire engine. I didn't get the numbers. If I was closer, I got the numbers. Thanks, Larry. Thank you, Larry. Now, they were already in there before. I didn't say anything. Actually. So again, they were able to block the cameras. Well, they'll be partakers of that plague and the curses coming from the manufacturers of security equipment. Thanks, Larry. A lot of people don't walk in the middle of the day. Right? Walk in the morning and the evening. But my exercise blood pressure plan requires me to walk like 3 or 4 times a day. Have an appointment. So I'm going, yeah, I'm getting out of that massage place. It just, he was pretty good at first, and they just upcharged me, right? And without telling me, I said, "Can you do cranial tissues?" And they said, "Yeah." So they scheduled me. Then they supposedly charged me for not sacral, scalp massage and aromatherapy, and I know I didn't get aromatherapy. Right. Thanks, Larry. And it didn't work anyway. The massages, he just doesn't. He doesn't do it heavy enough to release the right side, and then he double releases the left side because that's the one that's kind of weak. Right. Well, if I don't get the right side released, then the left side's weepy, and that's where all the mess comes from. So I'm just going to cancel that withdrawal. I mean, I started it back up because he seemed like he knew what he was doing, but it just felt like there was no force in his massage. And maybe he doesn't want to do it. I don't know. He'll be trying to get rid of me. I don't know. Right. But the looks of it, he had a couple open slots today, so I don't think he's trying to get rid of me unless somebody paid him. Right. It's pretty much probably just a couple muscles that are causing the major dysfunction, but we haven't been able to get them to release yet. So a couple small muscles. Boy, that sun is killer today. Right, real strong. Should wear my hat. My head's getting sunburned, so I know that sun's getting stronger. No, I got to figure out what everything is. It's just weird. I took some new stuff, and it's kind of looks like there's side effects. So I have to back out of everything and then start again, reintroducing everything. No, there's this thing like again, they told me the wrong thing 5 years. I've been able to overcome this pretty quick. But there's a thing on the left side, a nerve that pinches, but it doesn't pinch if the right side's released. When the right gets too tight, it pulls the spine out of line. Right. So I have another appointment in a little bit. Right. Well, it's not terrible to realize that a massage therapist isn't helping and just move on. Again, the one person that I needed, they fired. I don't know if they fired her. She probably moved on. I don't think she was getting a lot of clientele. Right. Well, it's a shame the world we live in. If you got a lot of cute massage therapist women, the woman that isn't cute, and she was very capable, right? She's not going to get as many people. Even women, attracted to, cute, good-looking massage therapists. Now, I don't know if they have any trans over there in Leawood, but it says she, her, and I don't get that. Two of them say she, her, so I don't know if they're like trans or transgender or not. For some reason, out of blue, it says she, her. Maybe because they have male names. I don't know. Right. Well, that's a nice tracks. She got good-looking Chevy tracks. It's like an upscale one, I guess, upgraded. Nice wheels, black color. I'm glad she got a newer vehicle. Nah, I think I don't know what happened in her life, but I know that something happened. Right, I could tell. Right. So like I'm the guardian angel here. I wish well for her. Thank you, Larry. I could like as soon as she as soon as she lost all that weight, I'm like, oh, I must be connected to her. I got her on one of my programs. Now, I've never been paid on this planet. The planet will suffer for it. In fact, it will cease to exist at a certain point. Thanks, Larry. So again, don't let them, the operators deceive you, right, on what I'm actually doing. I do a lot of undercover work, believe it or not, but, not government, but personal. And I wouldn't say personal, just for God and for the benefit of the nation. Right. It's not going to go the way Trump, and it's like already not going the way Trump saw it would go. So again, he's stuck on controlling the tariff money because he got to control it last time. Right. So he's thinking, well, I'll make it work this time, and I'll control. It's almost like a casino. It's got gambler fever. That's what I think it is. Right? Right, it's not going to go easy. He's go, and if he does get hold of the money, they're gonna reject it. Right? Last time, I don't think anybody wanted to get in the middle of that, but right. Well, they're going to say that the tariff fund is like IRS, income tax. The Senate and the House hold the budget strings, right? So you can't spend it. They'll sue you not to spend it, and it will work. That's if you get to that point, right? So the battle's not worth it. Now, as far as Mexico, again, that's par for the course. There's no way to justify sending drones over Mexico unless we ask them first. Can we help you? Right. As far as international court, right? No, I don't know who's guilty. I just present opportunity to investigate people if there's any honest cops out there. Thank you, man. Thanks, Larry. Thank you, Larry. No, it's like my hearing was like up pretty high today. Even though my ears were like plugged this morning with more of my sinuses and all that. I had to turn down my hearing aids. And God, I was in the room with the music. Boy, I was like, whoa. Music was way too loud. Yeah, I gotta get ready for my next appointment. Nah, that massage didn't really help. He's just not massaging firm enough to loosen the right muscles. And I tried to explain to him what it was. I didn't like point it out this time. So, I mean, I pointed out a bunch of times. It's like right here. And if he isn't going to really crank on that, it's probably not going to work. Like the woman that was doing me, she'll crank on me. It'll give me like a migraine for like 5 seconds till she lets go. But she's doing that makes sure there's not going to be any migraines, right? Because she's loosening it all. Right. So you're like, when people like when women start getting, better, they're able to lose weight, they start looking better. You have to also heal them so that they're not taken advantage of. Right. Oh, thanks, Larry. And then, of course, women might curse them. Well, because they're still, like for me, I look like this bodybuilder dude, but I was still Larry, the other guy. And I got manipulated pretty much. I was pretty good at not having sex compared to like most people. I only had sex with 2 additional people in my life, and my wife was the only person I had sex with. Now, I'm guilty of fantasizing, I guess. But again, where does that come from? It comes from them. Again, if I had the life that I structured, would have been married young and stayed married the rest of my life, right? Again, God's is the one He structured. I would have been like a rabbi, so it would have been a totally different life. Right? So, but that just proves what's actually going on, right? Well, it's not happening the way they say it's happening. Yeah, actually, this is what I recommend for everybody: get outside in the daytime a little bit in the middle of the day. Just take a short walk, unless you have really bad allergies and you can't deal with it, because it's warming up and it feels like shitty out here. But it's going to feel even shittier if you don't get out here in the middle of the day in the warmth. In a month or so, right? Well, it's just the way the weather changes are going. People are less likely to go out. It's kind of right. We're seeing a lot of ups and downs, and you get a little used to the warmer weather, and then it gets cold, and right. So I say just get out in it, get your body climatized. Right, it feels like torture right now. Yesterday was beautiful, but then I know today's kind of yucky. Well, okay, so they can get through some pretty high level cameras. They definitely get through the Ring camera, right? I brought that up before, but there's another camera I have. It's a higher level with a home base, which means it generally doesn't. Wait, it is hooked to the internet. I left it hooked to the internet. I messed up. Right, but I still think they can. If I already hacked it and make it this anyway, but right. I just remembered I left it hooked to the internet. I used to not do that. Well, I mean, there's nation states hacking at this point. And if Overland Park PD would be corrupt for Russia, they'd hack for them, make them look good. Let's not forget I'm the Cold War hero, and you're not. Thanks, Larry. That's one reason they want to be gone too. Believe me, there's so many ulterior motives because each person is a corrupt piece of shit and has their own motive. Right? So, like, why does Russia happen? Because they're taking over the United States. They don't want a Cold War hero here. Right? Thanks, Larry. Oh, so I can hear from some officers. They're saying, like, they would always sound the alarm about me, and every investigation they ever ran into was a nothing burger. Right. Thanks, Larry. But that's how they do it. They go, oh my God, this guy. Right. Then freak everyone out. I wish Costco was over here. I have to go over to Costco and get my hearing aid. Rather be taking a walk. I think I'm going to rest this afternoon. I'm going to do some investigative work and then rest. Yeah, they attacked after I did some investigative work. Right. They'll say it's something else, reasoning, if you ever did ask them, but right. Oh, shit. Actually, I want to do it now, but I have to wait. I was supposed to do it this morning, but I was off balance kind of this morning. I got out of sync. No, because this is the weakness of the deep state. Now, there's more communication between cells right now. However, the communication you don't know all the cells. So, what I do, deep state will see me, may even have a contract, and then start doing stuff, and I'll start reading it, and figuring it out. So the other deep state will attack me, so I don't do it. Thanks, Larry. Now, it showed, like I said, the one post said, what did it say? What are you looking for here? Right. So that looked like to be a response. Well, they'll look like they have too much information, and that's an attempt to either fish, like a fishing expedition, see what you might be into, but also they'll try to make you paranoid. Right. But it's, again, well, they have too much information, and they're not supposed to have it. So again, see that their side of it is they're trying to make you paranoid, but you as an investigator would say those people corrupt, and they're doing something corrupt, right? That's why you make extortable personas. But I believe that they do a lot of prep work to see if you're a real person, right? Thanks, Larry. Thank you. I think that's why one of the reasons investigations fail sometimes. Right? They may even have inside people, right? But again, I'm sure you've done some work with compartmented cells of investigators. Yeah, that massage kind of made it worse. It sucks, right? Let me turn this camera on for whatever it's worth. Well, something told me that the people that get through the second door with the security padlock are different than the other people. And what they really want me to do is give up my security so the big dollar person doesn't have to get hired. The guy with or gal, whatever, the people with the real knowledge or the equipment to do it. Right. Okay. Thank you, Larry. So they're one of their goals is for me to give up on security or for a security system, so that way anybody can walk in there, like low paid maintenance or something, where they pay them an extra, $1,000, where this other person might be $5,000 or 10,000. Right. Thanks, Larry. Well, we're going to test something pretty soon. Well, yeah, it's not a game of you. You weren't supposed to be in my life, and you're not supposed to be in my life. Correct. Oh yeah, it succeeded for you for the time being, but again, nobody lives on this planet much more than 100 years, and definitely most people die before 80 years. Right? Well, you're going to hell. You want an all expense paid trip to hell. Well, you're giving me hell on earth. That was going to happen anyway. It's from Satan. Once Satan knew I was, that was it. I don't know if he knew my angel names and stuff, but he knew, as a child, I was a nice kid. And I had, okay, so Satan can touch you and tell if you're empathetic. Like my brother was not empathetic, so he got to be CFO. My brother, like he was, like they really pointed at me like, the redheaded, they beat me like a redheaded stepchild and then said it's my fault, that kind of thing. So again, my family, if you really study my family, of course the deep state loves them because, they were destroying me and saying it was my fault. All right. But if you study my family, like when I was a kid, my brother would beat me with high heel shoes and stuff. He'd go get my mother's high heel shoes and beat me. He'd do all sorts of crazy shit. Right. And then like when I would lash back at him, they would go, "Oh my God, you're violent." So if my family speaks about me, it's usually bullshit. I mean, I was under their spell, man. I believed that it was my fault, but it wasn't. And again, in today's world, I don't care what police department it is. My parents would have been arrested and thrown in jail, right? And I'd have been in a foster home, and that would have been way better. Correct. No, because you see how intelligent I am, right? Right. I mean, obviously, I'm powerless because you have governments and drug dealing organizations and sex trafficking organizations working for me, right? But I guess, yeah, they wouldn't say powerless, but physically to get my life anywhere, right? So, but I mean, I've been in a foster family, I did fine. Or if I was adopted, I may even got adopted. I was a good-looking kid, so I'm not a person that would take him in. But when I was a young kid, I was a pretty good-looking kid, right? So I probably could have got adopted pretty quick. My problem was my family, right? But again, the weird part is when you finally wake up, you realize that your family is also that person over there, that person over there. They're part of something, I guess Satan. They make a deal with the devil. Now, I don't think my brother's in that deep right now, but he's a scary dude. He's not. I should not. I don't have anybody, so I kind of reach out to him, and at times it's probably wasn't beneficial. Right. But he's getting the wrong vibration for what I should do. Right. Well, again, like I could look at this, go around and say, if he hadn't wigged out the last go around and I got there, everything would have been different, right? I've been living with people, and right. Well, if I was there, he wouldn't. I mean, he'd have been into it. Believe me, right? We'd have been things, but initially I didn't heal enough. But then they hit me here, and I got sick again. And no, it isn't me just being stressed from committing some freaking crime. That's the biggest BS ever. Thanks, Larry. Sorry. And nobody's sorry. You were sorry my life would have went the right direction. All it would have taken was a few years of people around me that were actually sorry or would be sorry in life, and then it would have fixed. Right? No, the whole goal is to get their victim to speak out. They'll say they're testing the victim if you challenge them on it. They're not testing. They got dams, right? No, they're not trying to crime I committed. No, they're trying to get me to speak out about something they could attack me for, right? I mean, it's only human. It's human nature, right? I mean, Russians do it all the time to people that are, coming against them in their country, right? So again, same thing here. They're just, they're up now. They're running the sirens down here. Make sure these people running code aren't doing it for some scam, right? And if they are running code, check to see, like, for legitimate purpose. Find out what they're running code for and see if it could have been fudged. Correct. I don't know if this dude's running code or traffic stop. I can't tell. It looks like a traffic stop. Or somebody may have broke down the road, I guess. The positioning of the officer makes it look like, if I'm right, makes it look like it was somebody that's broke down in an intersection or something. Right. That could just be Satan's stance. Or maybe not. Maybe they're bullshit. Right. Well, they're telling you their vehicle's broke down, right? But it may not be. And then you pull up behind them and put your lights on somewhere where they want you to put your lights on to affect the victim. Correct, Larry. Thanks, Larry. Nah, I really needed a. What happened is they gave me a lumbar epidural, but I think part of what I need is a cervical or a thoracic epidural. Right. I don't know what that is, actually. Could be a pullover, or could be a work zone. I don't know. Right. I'll tell you also, the people from Costco, I don't, not everyone's 100%, but when you compare them to the people at the ear, nose, and throat that do audiology and hearing aids, they're much nicer people. Right. Right. It's almost like the Nazis, You will buy a hearing aid from us for twice the price. Hearing aid mafia. I think I got attacked by the hearing aid mafia. Thanks, Larry. This is a good starting point. Right. I do want a better hearing aid, but I don't know. Maybe I'll never get there. I don't know. Right. Well, I still better go to the VA. The VA owes me one. You need two good ones. You really do. Right. Unless you're just suffering from some real minor loss. Right. No, it'd have been an interesting journey if I could have found out about this like 5 to 10 years ago. Right. Yeah, they did what they did on purpose. I mean, you just isolate somebody and it's going to mess them up. Right. So that's their scam. Oh, the world, they rape the world. We got to keep them away. Nah, that massage really didn't do much good at all. I just wasted. That's okay because I'm going to cancel the membership. and then it's like twice. I paid not twice, but I paid a lot for that massage. A lot. Again, part of that is the deep state curse because I'm making my ends meet. Right. I'm paying bills and things. I gotta figure out which road I have to be on. Now, if these people were forced to let me live my normal life, I'd have been fine. Never would have had a trouble in my life. Right. Wow, this person slammed on their brakes. Thank God for new Firestone tires. Thank you, Larry. Oh, Jesus. It's people. They're all like tailgating each other. Like there's like 50 cars tailgating each other. No, I got some space between me and the vehicle in front of me, but that's where it gets you. It may not. It may be your fault because you're following too close, per se. But it's the people that don't know how to drive that are causing the issue, right? And they create an exigent circumstance that you're not spaced out for. Meanwhile, they're all driving way too close, right? I just looked at the line of cars. I was like up on a high spot. Looked at the line of cars. Finally, it was like 50 cars tailgating each other. I mean, if they just leave, even 5 foot, it probably would have worked. Yeah, I got some nasty allergy response around here. I got no idea. Right. Because I have a lot of that sinus tissue already worked out, and it really hasn't changed all that much. Right. So I got no idea what I'm going to do. I mean, like I said, I might get my treadmill and start walking inside. It's just leaning there against the wall. I have to set it up. Am I early? Yeah, I'm kind of early. That was a strange morning, believe me. I don't think they drugged me, but I think something I took is reacting with something else I took. I took a lot of holistic stuff, and I'm gonna have to like back out of it and reintegrate it. Right. Well, I think it might be the muscle. It's called muscle relaxer, but it's not a drug, but it has like valerian, and some of that stuff can get you kind of funky in the mind. Right. I took the inflammation one, and it didn't really, I didn't have anything off of that. But last night I took the muscle relax one, and I think when I woke up I had some rare reactions. There's a bunch of natural stuff. The muscle relax one's also anti-inflammatory. Did they lose their car? I'm trying to find their vehicle. No, I think they're discussing as to where they may have parked their vehicle. At Costco's. You know what? I should learn and just go to the back of the parking lot as long as I can still walk. I'm really not even consider getting a spot close in on a Sunday. Right. Are you saying right? I don't know. I'd have to look closer at the spirit. As soon as I decided to do that, a spot opened up kind of close in. So that's the energy that they're projecting, right? Right. Yeah, I got one not too far from the front. No, like the guy that I spoke about that house. He, for my first day in church, he came up, and I'd seen him online. We did a study with the missionaries, and right, thank you, Larry. And his wife was like all in. So again, I'm not just judging his wife from one, episode, right? And I think they asked her to stand up because she was doing something. They recognize people every so often, right? Thank you. But she was like right there, all in, welcome me, and all that, like just yeah. So when I found out she was one of the active people, it made sense. Right? But again, remember I was talking about the teen girls and how they were dressed. she's That's one of her things. She's the teen girl. Um, I don't know what they call them. The president of the teen girls. I don't know. Like, we got presidents and elders, and it'd be like the youth group leader, right? The female youth group leader. Thank you, Larry. Oh, I don't know if I'm going to say anything, but I'm lined up to say something, right? Well, again, the idea is that's a 15-year-old, that's a 14-year-old, whatever it is. And the idea is that's a child, so we don't have to worry about that. But you do, right? Especially in a church, right? Well, generally, if like, was it President Oaks, or I don't know if it was Oaks or Nelson. I can't remember. I think it was Oaks. It may have been Nelson. But he said, don't be the porn that some people seek. When you say that, a parent goes, "Oh yeah, yeah." The mother says, "I got to dress right," but then she doesn't think of her daughters, right? Because she doesn't consider them sexual attraction, right? So, oh my God, it's too freaking early. Why'd I turn the fan off? I need the AC. Can't believe I got here so early. Jesus. Nah, obviously I should have canceled my massage appointment. I just couldn't find anybody else. I really didn't want to go back to that guy. I was looking for someone else, and the girl Kayla, like I said, she wasn't attractive, and I guess she didn't get too many customers because I went to this other woman, and she goes, "Well, come back and so and see Kayla." So again, they'll try to help somebody who doesn't have many customers, right? But she's actually better than the other ones. That's the weird part. That's pretty volatile right now. It seems like a massage. God, this place is booked. Yesterday I was able to release my right side right, and then my left side picked up. What happens is it kills it. It gets weak on the left side, and then the nerves pinch. As soon as I get the right side relaxed, the left side picks up, and then I walk normal, right? And all the nerves unpitch. It's actually saying that if I go in now, they'll see me almost right away. I wonder if that's real. She said she was wide open on Sunday, but that was a few days ago, I think. So what they'll do is they'll come up in your mind as being friendly, and they're just, they're just there to introduce certain thoughts that aren't beneficial. I'm sorry. It might be real because it's saying that it's people that want my parking spot and they want me out of here sooner than later. We'll see. People generally don't do